Happy Saturday, everybody. It's David Schlotthauer here with another detailed U.S. weather forecast. In today's update, we are keeping an eye on the models for now, the potential for two big snowstorms for the northern plains with severe weather events for the Midwest. This weather pattern change will bring some of the coldest Arctic air ever recorded in the month of October. So in this video, we will be breaking down all those details. To start things off, I always like taking a look at the current weather situation in the United States because things are going to change pretty significantly by the time we go into the middle of next week. And I mean, big changes are coming. So looking at the current weather pattern right now, we got a big storm system moving up the eastern seaboard right now, bringing quite a bit of rainfall, some strong winds. We got another surge of cooler air that is coming in out of the northwest over the Great Lakes. This is going to bring in some much colder temperatures before a big warm up returns and resumes as we get high pressure. We got ridging up across the western half of the United States, but that's also going to be changing this weekend, which will bring in some bigger changes for the northern plains by the middle of next week. Looking at the latest Euro model for Sunday afternoon, October the 22nd, 2023, we can see where our weather disturbances are currently located. We got some light to moderate rainfall that is going to be impacting California by this weekend with a system that's going to be across the northeast, bringing some high elevation snow, but the big changes are going to set in by the time we go into October 25th and the 26th. By the Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to see some big snows coming in across the Pacific Northwest. And we can see that really shaping up here in the next 3 days. By Tuesday morning, we have some snow up here across Canada. So like southern Manitoba, Saskatchewan, you can see some big snow there. We got some interesting heavy rainfall that's going to be falling across the northern portion there of Texas. But this is when it really turns for the worst, folks. By the time we go into Wednesday, and especially into Thursday, we see our first storm system really setting up shop here across Montana, bringing some big time heavy snowfall, blizzard conditions, and some strong winds with very cold temperatures. As far as the south goes, we're going to see some severe weather, possibly a slight risk for tornadoes, maybe some gusty winds and some large hail, certainly. And yes, this is the time of the year to see our second season of severe weather. That weather system moves on by fairly quickly on the Euro model. By Friday, October the 27th, you can see the snow here clipping in the northern portion of Minnesota. Most likely a lot of rainfall here for much of the Midwest. So not a huge system, but it's going to get bigger than this. Let's go into the next system. By next weekend, the last weekend of October, we can see another powerful snowmaker here for the northern plains, for the Dakotas, for Montana. If you're in Wyoming, light to moderate snowfall with the strong winds, with that gradient. We're going to see blizzard conditions, maybe some ground blizzard conditions across the northern high plains. And look at that system also moves through, but we have the GFS to look at too. The GFS pretty much has the same scenario like the Euro model, only probably a little bit sooner than what the Euro is showing. But either way, same look here with some severe weather, heavy rainfall, maybe some flood concerns here for the high plains and for the central Texas region. And then here comes that storm, folks. It's going to be a big one on the GFS. See some heavy snow there over, if you're in, say, Utah, if you're in Wyoming, we're going to be seeing some blizzard conditions, some strong winds, and look at that. Very dynamic. We got a lot of blue here. So if you are in the northern plains, just get prepared potentially for a big snow producer winter storm. That moves on through, and then we might see another big storm system in the making here. Now, this is in fantasy land, by the way, you all that are watching these videos. I don't want to try going over the top of myself, but the GFS is suggesting another potential big snowstorm, even an ice storm for the Midwest. And what the heck? This is late October, the last couple of days, and it's not really acting normal at all. If you look at the previous runs, this has been very consistent. Therefore, we really got to watch this one very closely. Snowfall totals look phenomenal with this winter storm that come through, and another one after that. So we could be looking at potentially 2 to 4 feet of snowfall for the highest peaks there of Montana and Wyoming, like Yellowstone National Park. The Cascades could see a couple of feet of snow, including for northern portion there of, say, Idaho. Might see a couple of feet for the higher elevations. For the valleys, probably not going to see hardly anything when in the way of snow unless you're in Montana. The GFS is by far the more bullish output of anything, showing a lot of snowfall over the next 7 to 8 days. You can see over the Dakotas, possibly between 10 to 20 inches. Not as aggressive like the Euro is showing, but also it is more further south and more widespread here over much of the Pacific Northwest and the northern plains of the United States. What does this look like on the 500 millibar air chart? Well, you guys need to see this. This is going to be far more extreme than what we have ever witnessed in October. So going forward, there's that shortwave trough that's going to bring the initial round of some severe weather potentially for the Midwest. And then here comes the monster here. Big storm, big trough, really ejects out of the Pacific Northwest. And then, wow, very deep trough. I mean, 513, this 513 gets a little bit closer, and boy, look at that jet streak. Even the 200 millibar winds are extremely strong here, with winds that are over 180 knots, and that is over 200 miles an hour. And you bet this is going to bring in some pretty interesting wild weather conditions. You could really see the pattern change quickly on our 500 millibar geopotential height anomaly. This is basically showing us where there's going to be ridges, and those ridges are being above average, and then where the troughs are going to be with below average height. So going forward in time, we can see this pattern change. Take note, the trough in the northeast is going to move out. We're going to see a big ridge filling in here, and then we're going to see a trough in the west. And usually things get very extreme and wild between the two, especially when we get southwesterly flow. We can really see that really shaping up briefly. More zonal flow, and then look at this. Here it comes. Here comes the masterpiece of everything. 192 hours out on the Euro model. Big ridge in the east. Big trough in the west. And when these two troughs, there's another one up here. There's another one down here. These two are actually going to collide. And once they do, we're going to see big time cooling again. Big Arctic air mass really sets up shop as we have near record breaking below average heights in this area of the country. The temperatures are going to take a big, massive hit as they go way below average. I mean, we're talking some record to monthly record low temperatures for the month of October. Something that we have not seen in over 20 years, I believe. So let's go forward in time. This is for Tuesday. Your daytime highs in Montana are only going to get into the low to mid 20s, while temperatures are in the 90s in the deep south. This is when those changes really happen. Look at this. By Friday next week, we get this big Arctic cold front moving through. Those temperatures in Montana, probably in the single digits for Friday morning, and then they get even colder and colder because we get that second wave of cold air by the second to last day of October, the 29th. Look at those temperatures. Temperatures negative 15 to negative 20 degrees for those mountains. My goodness, this is going to change the weather pattern for a while. Looking at that temperature anomaly forecast, boy, there's going to be the red team versus the blue team, and the blue team is, of course, going to win out everything, and it's going to be extreme. I mean, look at this. This is just ridiculous to see on Sunday, Saturday night into Sunday, the 29th of October. Temperatures here in the Midwest could be as much as 25 to almost 30 degrees above average. So we might see some record warm overnight lows. And then look at this. All across the West, we're going to see some of the coldest air that we have seen so far this season. And some areas might even see the coldest temperatures in the month of October ever witnessed. And this continues all the way to, say, Monday. Look at this cold air. I mean, this just races southward. The GFS model is much more significant than anything we could ever imagine. I mean, look what it's showing. Temperatures could be as much as 29 to 30 degrees below average in northern and central Texas after seeing temperatures that could be 10 to 20 degrees above normal. So you're going to drop temperatures by 40 to 60 degrees in the matter of 24 hours, which is Wow, that's all I gotta say. Well, anyways, I sure hope this video helped you out a lot, folks, because we have some big weather pattern changes coming for the fall period into the winter period, and I'll be updating you all as much as I can on this YouTube channel to keep you all weather aware all season long. As I always, please make sure you do subscribe if you did like today's video, share this, and also make sure you hit the bell icon and leave a comment in the section below this video. We got to get this out to a lot of people, folks, because the pattern is rapidly changing in a very big way.